And so this is the chapter where the book talks about the scary freedom that we humans have in our life as we know it. And he's starting to say that well, existential issues are those who are common for all humans, and what makes it very unique for the humans, separating them from other life forms. So, what is it that separates us, for instance, from especially animals? And some of the answers has been like Eric Fromm has said here. It's the ability to recognize and look into yourself. So the ability of self-awareness is a special thing as we know it. We can never be sure, but to the limit of our understanding about ourselves and animals, that's what makes it different. So it's the ability to think, it's the ability to be both uh, animalistic and in certain ways also godly. We are creative and creating like the God that started it, if we believe in such God or the creation itself. And we are free and can create our destiny, but we are also destined to that freedom. So this is existential psychology at its core. You are free to create, but you are also destined to that freedom. So in many ways, it's what you are lifting. It's the big responsibility of life you are carrying here on your shoulders and in your life. And in that sense, you get the fear in your life. So any human who feels the freedom to be will feel the fear of that being. So when you are afraid, it means that you are necessarily unsure and free and insecure of what you are gonna choose, or because of your choices and because of the imbalance that will arise from being a free person or a free being in life. And freedom can be both positive, where we connected with love and work and doing what you like in the time where you have no obligations. Go and do a difference for life or nature, or be with yourself or others you like. That's one kind. And the other one is the freedom that has a negative way to it. You are forced to be in it, in nature, and just by being here where you are, feeling alive in some way, you are bound to that freedom. You cannot relieve yourself from it, and it will forever, as long as you live and as you grow, you will learn the boundaries of it and you will deal with it. You remember maybe the first time you were a kid and you broke something, or you peeked into a room, or you went out on the street by your own, or you did something for the first time uh, of creation or of reacting to something else. It's there you feel the fear, because you feel that you have used your freedom, and that freedom is put upon you without the ability to relieve yourself from it. And that fear can be taken away from us, or controlled, or be put under some regulations and rules that can be scary if we go against them. We know it from many situations in life, and here he mentions um, the soldiers and the leaders and people who give orders to ordinary people, how they, in a way, use their freedom and control it and restrict it. So this is a way to escape freedom, is to accept that somebody else has the responsibility and make the decisions. And so one way of running from your freedom is giving it up to authorities and personalities who are always right and who can guide you and relieve you from your own responsibility of freedom for yourself and what's around you. You just obey orders and you follow rule, and you do not do anything by yourself, you think. The other side of running away from your freedom is to accept uniformity, accept being just like everyone else, taking away your special traits, erasing your individuality, making yourself just as common as everyone else. So that's a kind of putting away a side of yourself that could give you symptoms of neuroticism and can lead to some kind of disturbance, because you are born both to be like others but also to have your uniqueness or to feel unique even though you not always are. And so when you put it aside, you are running away from the freedom to form yourself into that very special way of being that do not always confirm and look like everyone else around you. That's where we got the colors of life, colors of people and identities, even though we are all alike in many ways. So these are the two sides you can run to, according to the book and Eric Fromm and the psychologists looking into this. And the freedom is a kind of a way between them. So you are here like between two words that maybe are known to many but not really understood. And it's sadomasochism and submission. The book is not using them consequently, but they are there, and they are important to understand in this context because they are related. Giving up yourself to a kind of total submission and a total deliverance of yourself and your freedom to some other person like you is giving up your freedom for something else. And that's maybe security or safety or the fear of making decisions. You are running away from all that, protecting yourself that can be shallow or in a troublesome situation. The other way is becoming the one who feels he is the source of all decisions, the leader, the sadomasochist, the one who suppress and make others fulfill his will and follow them. And that's another kind of distortion, because that's a misuse of your freedom and going over your boundaries as well. So you have these two kind of personalities that brings you away from what we call authenticism, like being really yourself in that way. And he expresses this kind of running away from freedom by using a small quote of Dostoevsky in the Brothers Karamazov, where he says that it's this poor guy they are talking about is as fast as possible wanting to put his freedom and the burden of it on somebody else's shoulders. The other one is from Sartre, where he talks, this person in the story, he talks about how he slowly gave up pieces of himself in a compromise to be like the others. And so the true living is being authentic, and being authentic brings you out of conformity and brings you out of the sadistic way of wanting to conform others and rule them with your own and very special way all around you. And that's what he called the pathology of normalcy. To being normal is something very dangerous to existential thoughts and life, because we are bound on a journey with our freedom not to be like everyone else in every manner. He's not saying that we have to be so different that we go in a chaotic way, disturbing and destroying each other. He will get back to that topic. But he's just trying to put a point forward that's very important, is that we are so afraid of our freedom and life in freedom that we try to shovel it away from ourselves, either by surrendering our will to somebody stronger, total surrender, and just do what we are told all the time, or else by trying to become part of that normal that we think exists out there and just be the one of the gray people in the mass, just like everybody else, and in that way avoid taking the responsibility of who we are and our authenticity on our shoulders. So in this way, the author takes us along to three types of personalities that comes out of this authenticity, or two distortions of that authenticity, and he tries to show it in a kind of a model here. It's a bit difficult and hard to see. I'll try. He's saying here that you have yourself that has been suppressed, and you have like incarnated a false self that gets the experience from the outside world. So your real self that you have put away because you've given yourself up and you're not authentic it's not only protected, but in many ways now not in contact with that reality. The other type is the inner self, where the false self and the inner self can be put aside, so you are exquisite. And then you have the authentic self. You are incarnated with whom you are, how you are, and you get the experience from reality and from the others all around you. So this circle is basically like everyone else and society and all the input and output you get from outside yourself in dialogue with yourself. And you either withdraw or you totally go into a kind of splitting, like you get out of yourself totally, and you go way beyond your authenticity, or you become that authentic self with whom you are. And the idea here is made more clear by trying to quote Otto Rank, also a psychiatrist, that says that the well-ordinated common human is always playing a role, always playing a role. And our thoughts here goes to different kind of stories that we know from our life and others as well. It's like you are always putting yourself aside to play a role that fits into society or with other people or the situation you're in. The other one is you get alienated. You are so strange to who you are that you become in many ways unreal. You become everything that's around you and everything anyone else wants you to be. You are not really in touch with yourself anymore. You're just trying to realize what everyone else thinks and wants and agrees on you. And if you break with that, well, you're going to break with some very harsh situations, because they will put you maybe in many tough trials. The sadomasochism will come up in these people who want to control you all the time because they won't accept you being different from what they want you to be. So going against something is not easy, because you've lost that authenticity in yourself that you had from the beginning. And authenticity is a way of living the truth as you feel it and understand it. And he quotes Nietzsche, who has many quotes and many things to say, and not all people like him or agree with him, but he says something here that makes it clear what it is. He say, can you live on that truth? And if you live on it, how does it be? So can you live on it? Asking the question on the truth. And so the truth must come from the authentic self of yours. It must be that way you find it or you get to it. Otherwise, you are just a conformist, or you are someone who have submitted yourself, giving up your freedom for somebody else's look and perspective. And so he focuses back again on Erich Fromm, mentioning several of his books and how he is trying to make this point in several of his publications. And Erich Fromm is very recommendable as a read for everyone who wants to understand more about himself and life and society. In 1947, he writes Man for Himself, and talks about how you can live being productive in your life. And then later he talks about the pathology of normalcy in 1955, and in The Art of Loving, 1956, he talks about being in love with yourself, or loving yourself, as a condition for loving anyone else. This is the basis. And in Human Heart, he talks about the conflict of the love for life and everything alive, and the love for the death and everything that is dead, and how we are in between these two, about having and being. And so it's a difficult issue to understand the scary freedom as a topic, and how it is put forward here in these flashlights. You can more call them flashlights of psychological insights than a systematic introduction that uses philosophy and psychological experiments and a lot of documentation. It's more kind of understandable insights, and that's what I really like, because this is what brings us close to what we can use, instead of getting drowned in all this stuff we have to bury ourselves in to get through to these ideas. And so he ends this chapter with questions and answers from his students, or special highlights on this issue. And when they ask him about how to make this realization and actualize yourself and get your authenticity, he says it's through engagement. And to engage yourself is a way where you can get in touch with yourself again in a good way. Not engage yourself on behalf of others alone, and not on behalf of your pseudo I, the one that only conforms what everyone else wants, but to be engaged in that child of yours. He's not saying it that way, but I'm trying to explain it in my commentary, that it is that child of yours that's been activated once more, that sense of being impulsive, saying what you like, expressing what you feel, and go about and doing what you want in a good way, without destructive ends, of course, but in a positive and humanistic sense. Going about doing what you want doesn't mean destructing yourself or others. It means just being able to go out and unfold yourself without the fear of a lot of things that surrounds you, and it surrounds you in a pseudo-real way. It's like sometimes it's very, very simple and shallow things that people avoid doing. Like if you're walking somewhere and you get the lust to step into the water that's on the street, or walk under the rain, taking off your coat, people find it strange, as if you are a crazy man or something, or dancing on the street on the way home, and so on. And you can do it because why not? Maybe you are in a sense of ecstasy. So being authentic is being able to unfold yourself in a healthy way, acting on that authenticity and not on your experience with what everybody else wants and thinks and likes you to do. So it's between being forced and being giving up your freedom, because you don't want to get criticized, or you don't want to be different. And that's a way of maybe wrapping up this issue on the freedom that is scary. And it is scary because we run away from it all the time, and that's why we get a lot of what we see in the world today, and everyone can think for himself because we become part of the masses. That's the easiest way. Nobody likes the one who stands out, and people start fearing people who are living authenticity and living authentically closest to themselves and are able to say their mind and show their feelings and react impulsively, free and relaxed. That can scare people these days, and so many people avoid it, and then we become a scary society, and it becomes a scary life, because everything has to be exactly like everyone else, and any small touch or step outside the line will be seen as danger or threat or the beginning of things getting out of hand. And that's why things go wrong, because we get scared of even the smallest touch of that personality that wants to be authentic and closest to itself. And it happens all the time. So we are basically running away from that scary freedom that we are bound to at the same time. We cannot run away from it. We can give it up. We can conform ourselves as much as we can and hide our inner authentic self and I, but we cannot run away. We are bound, we are destined to freedom, as Sartre maybe has said in such manner. It's about using it, but how? And this is what this is about, to understand and bring forward that kind of authenticity.